Most developers work with REST APIs every day, but very few stop to ask, are there other types of APIs? The answer is yes, and understanding them helps you design better systems. Let's explore the five main API types. What are they, how they work, and when to use them. Let's start with the first one, REST APIs. REST stands for Representational State Transfer. It is the most widely used API architecture for web services. REST APIs define how applications communicate using standard HTTP methods to access and manipulate resources. A REST API treats each piece of data as a resource with a unique endpoint. These RESTful APIs use URLs to identify resources and HTTP methods to specify operations. How REST APIs work? REST APIs use standard HTTP methods get to retrieve, post to create, put to replace, patch to update, and delete to remove. Each request is stateless, containing all necessary context without requiring the server to remember previous interactions. So, when to use REST APIs? REST APIs are the best fit for public APIs that require broad compatibility, web services with CRUD operations, mobile apps that need flexible data formats, and internal APIs that connect microservices. Coming to the next one, SOAP APIs. SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. It is a messaging protocol that uses XML for structured communication between applications. SOAP APIs rely on WSDL, which stands for Web Services Description Language, files that formally define operations, data types, and endpoints. How SOAP works? SOAP works by sending structured XML messages that follow strict rules between client and server. SOAP messages are XML envelope that contains a header which consists of metadata or authentication, a body, the actual request, and an optional fault element, which is errors. When to use SOAP APIs? SOAP excels in enterprise applications that require formal contracts, financial services that need strong transactional integrity, healthcare systems with strict compliance requirements, and government web services. Let's see GraphQL APIs. GraphQL is a query language and runtime for APIs. GraphQL APIs use a single endpoint where clients specify exactly what data they need. This approach eliminates the issues of overfetching and underfetching that are common in REST APIs. How GraphQL works? Clients send queries to a single endpoint describing their exact data needs. The server resolves only the requested fields and returns a structured JSON response. So, when to use GraphQL? GraphQL works best for mobile apps with bandwidth constraints, dashboards displaying data from multiple sources, apps with frequently changing requirements, and client driven development. Next API type is gRPC. gRPC, Google Remote Procedure Call, is a high performance framework for building APIs that communicate using binary protocol buffers, often called as protobuf, over HTTP. gRPC makes remote function calls feel like local ones. Instead of thinking about HTTP methods and endpoints, gRPC focuses on calling function across distributed systems. How gRPC works? gRPC works by letting services call each other's functions directly using a fast binary protocol instead of HTTP JSON. gRPC uses protocol buffers to send compact, efficient data between services, making communication faster than REST APIs. So, when to use gRPC? gRPC excels in internal APIs that connect microservices, high performance systems that require low latency, IoT apps that processes streaming data, and real time applications. Coming to the next and last API type, WebSocket APIs. WebSocket is a communication protocol providing full duplex channels over a single TCP connection. Unlike HTTP request response pattern, WebSocket connections stay open, enabling real time bidirectional communication. How WebSocket works. After an initial HTTP handshake, the connection upgrades to WebSocket, allowing both client and server to send messages at any time. So, when to use WebSocket? WebSocket works best for chat applications, collaborative tools with real time editing, live dashboards, gaming applications, and financial platform with live price feeds. Now, the question is how to choose the right API type. Selecting the appropriate API architecture depends on your use case, performance needs, and team capability. Conclusively, use REST for CRUD operations, WebSocket for real time updates, GraphQL for complex nested data, gRPC for high performance microservices, and SOAP for regulated enterprise systems. So choose the API that fits your problem, not the trend. That's it for today's video. I'll see you in the next one.